Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Dr. Sarah Larson. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Public Administration at the University of Central Florida. I was asked to speak briefly about what makes a good reviewer or how to engage in an efficient review process to hopefully make the process of peer review something that's a little bit less painful and a bit more productive towards producing quality scholarship going forward for the field. First and foremost, I will say that during the review process, I think very hard about the fact that I'd like to make sure that the review I produce is one I'd be comfortable receiving. I say that in the sense because we're communicating anonymously with each other using written word, and tone can oftentimes be misconstrued or misunderstood in a written communication. So I always try to be extra mindful of my tone in my review to make sure that it's both appropriate, critical, but not detrimental to the other party. I wouldn't want someone to read a review I wrote and say, man, that was outright hostile or aggressive towards my written work. I would hope that they would read it and say, this is constructive, this is helpful, this provides me specific details towards success. And those are things I try to highlight in my review. I try to give measurable details about what areas I saw as issues. I present them chronologically as they appear in the manuscript versus in order of importance in my mind towards a successful manuscript for publication. In part, so when the authors go back to review the feedback, they can simply flip through the Word document they have on their computer in order versus trying to flip back and forth to find the areas that I'm referencing in my reviews. I try to provide specific examples or even helpful suggestions at times where I think that they're appropriate. So if I suggest that a research question lacks clarity, I will give an example of what I think they're trying to study in a research question as an example of perhaps how it could be reworded to strengthen it. Or if I think a methodological approach is inaccurate or inappropriate, or a better methodological approach could be taken, I will suggest that as an option in my comments back to the authors. I also try to provide those minor comments that might be something that you forgot as a author, but are helpful to you in the process of producing a manuscript, such as, did you forget to include page numbers? Or did you forget a title for a table or a figure throughout it? I know I've done both, and it's helpful when someone just points that out to me because sometimes I miss the little details. The other document that I'm going to be creating is a response to the editors regarding my determination of the manuscript. I will tell them in that what my determination was, why I came to that determination, and what specific things have to happen in my mind to get the manuscript from a point where it is now in terms of my determination of it, whether it be reject, R&R, or accept, and what needs to be done to get it to accept. To get it to a point where it's appropriate in the manuscript for publication as a manuscript in that journal. And sometimes that is simply, I don't know that it's necessarily possible to get it to a point where I think it's publishable in this particular journal, but here are reasons why, such as perhaps it's not a good fit for that particular journal at that particular point in time because they did not cite any articles from that particular journal in the reference list. I do both of these things in part to hopefully provide clarity to both the authors and the editors regarding my thought pattern about the manuscript and areas for improvement, or if it's ready to be published as a full manuscript in that journal. Finally, I will say I try to do it as quickly as possible. As someone who is on the tenure track process, expediency in the review process is important to me, and I know it's important to others. So I try to do my peer reviews as quickly as possible, sometimes within 24 to 48 hours if possible, just simply to get it done and back off my to-do list, because getting off my to-do list relieves a little bit of my to-do list stress for me, but also I think helps move the peer review process forward in a quicker and expedited fashion, if at all possible, just to sort of add utility to the field. I hope that these comments were helpful. Maybe they sparked something or were simply things that you do in the peer review process already. But thank you for the opportunity to suggest these items. Thank you for the opportunity to talk. And thank you to JPAE